I am originally from Medellin, Colombia, and I want to give you a very warm welcome to my channel. First of all, I was born in Medellin, Colombia, South America, and I came to the US when I was really young with my family. I am the youngest of 5 siblings, so holla to all the youngest kids out there. I know we have a big personality. And I have 2 of the older siblings living in Germany. Shout out to all my German friends and folks. And 2 of my siblings living here in the US. I am currently a nursing student at Berea, Kentucky, but I want to tell you a little bit about how I got there. So I went to an international boarding school in Chattanooga, Tennessee. What's up, Baylor? I loved it. It was such an amazing time in my life for me. I was, little Miss Perfect in so many ways. I was dorm prefect since my 2nd year there. I did cross country, I did rowing, I took all the AP classes I possibly could, all the honors classes I possibly could, student council, said yes to everything and anything I possibly could. And at the same time, my family was going through a lot of really difficult stuff. And I was away, and it was a really interesting time in my life where I could neglect a lot of the things that were going on at home and really focus on what I could control. And I thought I could control my academics, my future, by being everything that everyone told me I needed to be. I needed to be an athlete, a great student, you know, all of those things. And so by the time I graduated, I was tired. I was really tired. I got into all of the colleges that I applied to, received an incredible amount of scholarships, which I'm very thankful for. But it was still a really challenging time for me. And I think that a lot of, high school grads or high school seniors can really relate to that. I eventually made up my mind and went to Rhodes College in Memphis, Tennessee, and I was a Bonner Scholar there. And that was a really formative time for me. Being a Bonner Scholar meant that I served my community, 10 hours or so a week, and oh my goodness, it was life-changing to be around other students that were community-oriented, folks that cared for and really worked to better whatever it is that they were passionate about. And everyone had something that they loved and that they cared about. And if they didn't, they had the time to find out. So you got to serve in many different places, and then you chose where you wanted to serve. And then every week you would get together and you'd talk about, what that week of service was like, all of these encounters that you had, whether it was with other people that you served with or the community that you were working with. It was really formative. I got to go to conferences in St. Louis. I did a couple of, retreats maybe is the best word for that, where we really just got to reflect a lot on the service that we did. Anyway, that came to a screeching halt. My 2nd year, I went through a lot of really rough personal stuff, which maybe at some point in this channel I'll get to explore with you all. But I ended up leaving school, and I just felt like I couldn't stay there anymore. It wasn't about the school itself, it was things that were going on in my life, and I really just needed to break. So I was really incredibly fortunate enough to be offered a research assistant position. It was funded by the NSF. Incredibly grateful for that. So I went and I spent some time in Nevada, got to learn a crap ton about plants, and then I was sent to Peru, to the jungle, and that was an extraordinary experience. So you take this girl, you put her on a plane, then she gets to this brand new city, Lima, Peru, and then you put her on a bus, you send her to this little town called La Merced, And then you put her on a motorcycle and you drive her up to a research station. And that is a wild experience. I basically went out and I looked for plants, a very specific plant. Was involved with learning about the biodiversity of that rainforest, and I got to meet an incredible amount of fellow researchers. Mostly they did, I think it was research about deforestation in the Amazon areas and coffee growth, as well as cocoa beans. So I learned a lot about things I'd never learned about, but mostly I learned about myself. I got to spend an incredible amount of time literally by myself. Like, if you have ever known silence or read those books about people that go to the jungle and then they're going crazy and you're like, I don't understand. Yeah, there's bugs and there's humidity, but it's like a forest, right? Yeah, it's like a deafening kind of silence. It's really crazy. Yeah, survived that. And eventually made it back to the US, and then I came and I served for a year with AmeriCorps with Christian Appalachian Project in Eastern Kentucky. I'd only been once in my life, loved the experience, and decided to come back for an entire year. And I did housing remodeling. So I got to spend a lot of time with a lot of people that are very different from me, quite frankly. These are folks that are mostly from their own community, have lived there most of their lives, which was very different for me. I've always moved around a lot, so I got to learn a lot about those communities, the things that they have gone through. I've eaten so much food. Oh my goodness. We had someone who would always make us lunch, and she always made dessert, and then I didn't want to go and work in the afternoon because I was so full and so happy, and I felt so much love when I was there, and I'm so incredibly grateful for all the time that I got to spend there. And for my crew, I got to lead some folks and teach them a little bit about construction and how to cut stuff, how to screw it back on, and all that kind of cool stuff that I never thought I would have been able to do. And I want to give a really big shout out to my crew leaders who taught me all of that construction stuff. So hey Robert and hey Ron, I love you both very much, and I'm so grateful for everything you taught me. Okay, so then I did that year of service, and I used to go dancing. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of contra dancing, but it's kind of like Beauty and the Beast dancing, where everyone dances in pairs, and then those pairs dance with everyone else in the room. Anyway, it's really cool. I love doing it. But anyway, there was nothing to do in this town that I stayed in Kentucky, so then I would drive down to Berea with a friend of mine, shout out future Dr. Sam, and we would go there every month to dance with our friends. And every time I went there, they would ask me if I was a Berea student because I was really young, and they gave us discounts. And I was like, no, I'm not a student. But I eventually got curious why they kept asking me if I was a student, what was the deal with this school, because everyone seemed obsessed with it. And I was like, okay, fine, let's learn a little bit about this school. So found out it's this tuition-free 4-year private liberal arts college in Berea, and I was like, hold up, what? You're free college? Free 4-year tuition out? My mind was blown. I was like, in the US, that's impossible. And then I was like, I really should go back to school because I don't know what I'm going to do after my year of service. So I woke up one day and I was like, man, I wonder if Berea has nursing. And then I went out to Google and I looked up. I was at Berea College, nursing. And oh and behold, Berea College, the free 4-year tuition institution, does have an amazing nursing program. Why nursing? Well, little bit embarrassing, but the truth is I grew up super Catholic, and I would see Mother Teresa, everywhere, and I thought, wow, she just changed the world, and for some reason, like, my childhood brain couldn't, like, make the distinction between, like, one saint and one, like, sister or mother or nun or whatever you want to call them, and Mother Teresa. I just thought they were all Mother Teresa, and I was like, wow, she's amazing. And I'm pretty sure I ran across this one sister of, I don't know, some kind of, like, religious order in Colombia, and I saw a statue of her, and I read that she had been a nurse, and that had been her calling, so she was like a nun, and she was a nurse, and she had healed all these people, and I was like, oh my God, I want to be like her. I thought she was Mother Teresa. I was probably wrong, but I wanted to be like her. And so for a while, I actually wanted to be a nun, and I wanted to be a nurse. But I did not become a nun. But I can become a nurse. And so I said, okay, I'm going to go to nursing school, and I'm going to go to Berea. And that was it. I applied, pretty sure that very same day, because I get really excited and then I just do things. Kind of like I just jump into things. Applied, visited, got in, woo! Did my first year there, met my best friend, who I love very much, and now here I am. I'm a third-year nursing student. Yes, it's the middle of the pandemic. Yes, there are modifications to how we are being nursing students, and that's also an interesting journey that we can talk about later. But anyway, with this whole COVID stuff and this transition moment, I thought, there is something that I have always wanted to do ever since I was in Memphis, and that's to become a doula. So I have taken the time that was the tail end of the semester plus this summer, and I have started my doula journey. I've also chosen to start my lactation counselor journey, and in this process, I was encouraged to interview women in my life about what their experience was like when they gave birth. And I had very eye-opening conversations with my own mother, with friends, and even my sister-in-law. And it was during these conversations that I just really realized how passionate I am about the birthing process and about supporting women through that. And so, if anything, that just gave me an extra oomph that I needed. And so from that passion and desire to be a support person, came this channel, came Brazos Abiertos, Open Arms, doula services. And so that's why I'm here today on this channel. So you'll see I'm holding this very sweet little precious baby doll. You'll also see I have a pelvis. These are all instruments for teaching. I discovered when I was in my first anatomy and physiology class that I love to explain things. I love to teach about them. I love to do little hand demonstrations and drawings and do all this really, fun stuff. And so I thought, I love to teach. I love to explain about this stuff. Let's do it. So this is what this channel is about. This channel is about not just teaching you a little bit about pregnancy and childbirthing, but also a space where maybe we can learn about how to support laboring moms, how to support new moms, how to support birthing partners. It's hard to be the person seeing your loved one in pain. I get that. Let's find out how we can support them together. Anyway, I really want to thank you all for joining this channel, and I hope you guys have a great day. Please like and subscribe. Share this video!